Murthy Gokula. So I'm from India. I left and was in Jamaica for 5 years, and I taught Michigan State students who were touring, and that's how the attending liked me. And I came to MSU, did my family medicine in 2000. 2004, I did geriatrics from University of Michigan, and I went to the small place. That's my payback to the government to stay back to a rural town called Harbor Beach.
Wow.
And I was there for 3 years, did my hospice palliative medicine, and moved to Toledo in 2007. The reason is my professor who taught me at MSU moved to Toledo,
Oh.
and I started the geriatrics fellowship program at the university with St. Luke's Hospital. So been in geriatrics for a long time. And I used to do all the good things that we do, professors, write, research, publish, give talks. And I was into telemedicine, see, when all these things, technology in 2012, I used to do all these things. And my goal was to keep people home, called stay home. So my practice is also called stay home model of care. And I did research. I thought that will be the third thing I'll give to the US. And we wrote the grant, we submitted, but it never saw light because the university submitted the grant incorrectly, technical error. And then I said, I'm going to leave. I left the university. I wanted a holistic approach to health because in our country, we are very good at sick care and we are terrible at health care. So all the things I did, somebody was saying so many things. That's only one of my jump drives. I have 10 of them. So I talk a lot, do a lot of things. Point is, I think outside the box, and we are really failing our population by not giving health care. So I started my own concierge connected care, a holistic approach to health. I have a yurt on my property on Lasky Road, and address body, mind, spirit to bring about physical, mental, social well-being. And then while I was trying to do that, I didn't know how to do it because I have the MD. And to answer your question, CMD means Certified Medical Director, which means I know how to do medical direction in long-term care in nursing homes. So I'm medical director for like 5 nursing homes. And then when I left the university for Mercy Health System, I was their system medical director. And then came along the way in 88, and I had a belly. Do I look handsome? Be honest. I do, right? Can anybody guess my age?
55.
I'm 54. You hurt my feelings, right? That's okay. I can live with it. I'm glad you at least said that my age was incorrect. My wife says even worse things. So I had a big belly. I was obese because I was taking care of everybody else and not myself. And my friend said, have you heard of lifestyle medicine? I said, no, what is that? And lifestyle medicine is exercise, nutrition, stress management, sleep, addiction, and social relations. If you can fix all these 6 on a daily basis, that's how you get health. So I said, okay, how do I get more knowledge? And I looked up the American College of Lifestyle Medicine. You can get both certified. And very simple, you got to do a course. There are 8 places you can go. And I said, I'll go to Harvard for the best place. I went there and I was surprised. 2.5 days, I was like, there's so much research about this, so much evidence about this, simple. And I was famous because I used to stop pills and people got better. Never like pill, not a pill for every ill. Okay? Your healthcare is in your hands, not physicians, not healthcare system, not Bolivian hospital. So I wanted a patient-centered, how do you keep people home? Because in geriatrics, when I teach people, I only look at 2 things, how to improve your function and your quality of life. I don't care how many 10 problems you have, 20 pills you have, that's the least of my problem. My problem is, if I give you anything, how do I improve your function? If this gentleman is carrying a cane, how do I take the cane away and make him walk straight? It's possible. I'm not saying it's possible, but that's how we look at as geriatric specialists, So This was very interesting. They were actually talking about reversing type 2 diabetes. And there is science behind it. They were talking about how you can improve memory. And when I was a fellow at the University of Michigan, 2004, that's when we got Namenda. And from 2004 till now, so almost how many years? We don't have a new drug for memory problems. Why? And they came up with a lousy drug. I won't even give it to my enemy. You know, cost $60,000 and it's worthless. Point is, and here we have Finland people fixed all these 6 pillars in 2,800 people, and they delayed cognition, and they even reversed mild impairment. And the same thing is happening in Loma Linda in California. There was a neurologist. You guys should write this book down. I don't have a name. Called The Alzheimer's Solution. The Alzheimer's Solution. It's a book by, it's a neurologist who works there, Dean Sherzai. He actually reversed mild cognitive impairment, mild dementia. And he said, you know, he works with the communities there, how to reverse problems. So for me, that was, I came back and I prayed. And I think I must have lost belly this much. I still have ways to go, but I love food. That's a different story. So the point is, do simple things, and that's when that's called diplomate in American Board of Lifestyle Medicine. And while I was doing this, I met a doctor called Dr. Nielsen in Perrysburg. He wanted to retire. I took over his practice. He was doing hormones. He was doing outside the box stuff, like gut health. He was doing herbal medication, you know. So that's interesting. And there is an academy for that, American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine, called A4M. So I just passed my first step, and in September I'll finish my second. Can you believe I was a geriatric specialist? Now I'm talking about anti-aging. But to be very honest, I found the joy of medicine back again. I'm enjoying my medicine now. Why I became a doctor, to heal people. What is healthy means? Heal thyself, right? Heal that healthy. So I should be promoting how I can help your bodies to heal. We've got a very wrong system wherein everybody thinks, oh, the surgeon is a great guy. Surgeon is not a great guy. It's you. If he cuts open and does it, then you don't heal. Surgeon doesn't have a thing to do. So people get too much credit to the doer, you know, when it's the body that, but how does the body, that's what this topic that when I got excited when Daniel sent me this, aging abound. And that's the way we should be thinking. Or I just made a typo, but how do you undo the aging? So my goal is next year in my practice, I'm going to rebrand myself as Lifestyle Medicine and Anti-Aging Center. And we can do this. It's very simple. All I have to do is fix your inflammation in the body, fix your insulin resistance. This is insulin resistant, and your hormones. And you're on your path to wellness. You know, I'm not saying that I'm going to make you like a 16-year-old kid. No. My point is how to improve your vitality. Right? That's it. And keep your function, keep yourself independent. And don't be dependent, because I hate, that's why my company name is Stay Home I Will. You know, it's a long acronym. Okay, but the point is you can do that yourself, provided you do the right things. It'll be this way. But yeah, I have nothing disclosure next. So what's lifestyle medicine? It's a medical specialties that uses therapeutic lifestyle interventions. And that's the way I treat chronic conditions like heart disease, diabetes, obesity. And we are trained. We go through a course, even though it's not like a fellowship I did at University of Michigan. You got to do 30 hours of studying and 10 hours of going to a place, and then you take a test. And it's all evidence-based. And we give prescriptions, like the way I give prescriptions. So let's say anybody has blood pressure here. Is that okay? I can just use you. So let's say she comes and she's on 2 pills, okay? And she says, I really want to get out of my pill. Then I take a history. What do you eat? What do you do exercise? We have a form wherein we see the pattern. What do you do for sleep? What do you do for alcohol and addiction? What do you do for stress management and sleep? And based on that, I can figure out where her blood pressure is coming from. And people think blood pressure is a disease. It's not a disease. Blood pressure is just a reaction to the wrong things that we have done to the body. And that's how I look at blood pressure. It's not like I can't fix the blood pressure. I can fix blood pressure in sleep. For being a doctor for 28 years, I can treat in sleep, literally. I can treat diabetes in my sleep. It doesn't take science to do that. Once you're doing the same thing, you do it. But how do I reverse that? Then I'll tell her, what's your goal? To take out the 2 pills. And if she's eating salt, right? We figure out where it starts. Salt kills. And I'll be very honest, I didn't know all this stuff until I went to Harvard for education. And that's why I came back, I prayed, I started running, I joined Dave's running group, and they bring us here to BGSU Stadium, in winter. So the point I'm trying to make is, I took it on myself. It's called self-care. And each of us can do that. And slowly, I took 3 years because I love food. And we use a whole food plant-based eating pattern and address all this and give prescriptions. I'll show you how I give prescriptions. So this was the past, our life. People used to have fun, work in the fields together, right? And this was next. But this is. I don't have to detail, right? Look at this guy. He's really exercising well with the dog. So, nothing against what has happened to healthcare over the years. We got vaccinations, surgery, clean water, sanitation, antibiotics, birth control, a lot of things. Science has advanced, Nowadays, in science, we have what is called randomized control trials. It's the best, but systematic reviews, meta-analysis. They put all the things together, give doctors the information. You don't have to prove it. 10 years ahead, they'll kind of give you the information. So, and we can do it. But guess what happened with all this? We still have this problem. Heart disease, cancer, COVID, accidents, stroke. And 80% of this, you can prevent it completely. And you can reverse it. I'll give you very simple tools. You think I'm joking, but that's the reality. It took hard time. 2018, when I went to Harvard, I came back 19, I prayed and I started changing myself. And 20, I took the test. And 21, when I took over the practice, I started implementing how I can change people. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's very much doable. And that's what your aging abound is about. Yeah. And look at this. This is in 2000, and it has not changed after 20 years. Heart disease is still the problem. Cancer is still the problem. You guys know what is American Institute of Cancer Research? You all have family members who have cancer? Let me see how many people have. Everybody has cancer, right? In the family. So this is a body that gives you, what are the 10 things all human beings should do to prevent cancer? And they're not for profit. They don't have any political affiliation. They don't have any lobbying. They just are scientists. They look at the whole world and publish 10 things you should do to prevent cancer. It's called AICR.org if you want to go and look up. And one recommendation that never changed for 30 years is plant-based diet prevents cancer. Okay? Yeah, keep going. So the problem is we are not active. We get obese, including me. We have poor diet, smoking, alcohol, because everybody loves wine, right? And significant impact. And it increases 55%. What all cause means, all the conditions put together. That poor lifestyle goes 55%. The American Heart Association says, oh, lifestyle should be the number one recommendation. Has anybody talked to you about this in your office? No. Right. I'm an MD, I don't do it. Nobody teaches us how to do it. It's a dismal thing how nutrition or any of this is taught. But once I graduated, my colleague Kevin, who works still at the university, I convinced him to get lifestyle boards. Now we are teaching University of Toledo medical students lifestyle medicine. All the 175 students will learn about it. My point is, I want to educate. You're the boss. I'm only a coach. You know, cancer, cardiovascular, heart disease, and people think, oh, it's heart problem. I don't care. Well, you must care because what's bad for the heart is bad for the brain. How many of you guys want dementia when you're old? I want to see any hands. But if somebody is telling you can do this very simply and prevent it, do it. So this is one thing, stress. If you can't fix stress, if I do all the right things, it ain't going to work. It's not going to work. So people, just a simple thing. I just went to the anti-aging conference and the whole theme was inflammation, the fire inside. And we had a half day for cardiometabolic health, everything related to heart. We had all these big people from all big universities come and lecture. And at the end, the guy from Mayo Clinic was talking about how meditation, his research is all about how meditation helps. But we don't take advantage of that. We think doing nothing is stupidity. You are always on the go. That's bad. So next. I didn't get your name. Kinsey. So Kinsey is young, right? I'm sure she's going to school. Graduated doing a job. So sometimes if you're lucky, you do one job. There are people who do two jobs, right? And they're burning the candle on both ends. So the answer is very simple. When you're eating a whole plant-based diet, exercise daily, manage stress, develop strategies, form relationships, improve your sleep, and stop drinking wine or alcohol or tobacco or whatever, drugs next. Because why is it is a problem? If you say 86% of health spending in our country is people with one chronic problem. So if you can look at all the things, this study clearly showed that in US, we use a diet low in fruits, low in nuts, seeds, high in sodium, high in processed. You guys should change. Start changing the game here. Processed meats, low in vegetables, high in trans fats. And nothing wrong. Next, if you look at what brings health, you can see it clearly. Understand income, social status, all that stuff, but look at it. Coping skills, healthy behavior, culture, medical care is what is all lifestyle medicine. These are all what determine across the world. It doesn't matter who you are. Income matters, social status, employing, all these matter. But look at 5 things actually are lifestyle related. So it's very important that we're all taught how to manage blood pressure, how to manage diabetes, how to manage heart disease. You know, it's like, I don't know if here if we have that saying. You know, there's no point, in India we have a saying, there's no point trying to go and look for some grass after your hands are burned. You understand that analogy? You got to figure that out before. So we are all in a reactive world of healthcare. Lifestyle medicine is proactive model of healthcare. So this is what it is. If I fix inflammation, if you fix hormones, and if you fix your insulin resistance, you fix a lot of problems. So you can see when you have unhealthy diet, when you sit for a long time, high stress medication, poor sleep, addictions, and social isolation, it brings gut changes, and your genes are changed. How many of you guys know that your genes change if you meditate? Yeah. They're what is called genes. At the end of the genes are called telomeres. The telomeres determine how long you're going to live. And they keep shortening as you age. And that's cool. When you do meditation, your telomeres grow. So why don't you do that? What does it take to sit and meditate? Nothing, right? You guys have a lot of time, right? You're retired. Right? You don't have to be a CEO somewhere or a manager somewhere. So enjoy doing these things. Put check box, all these things. And all these things lead to inflammation, and it's inflammation that causes diabetes, heart disease, cancer, depression, and other diseases. Can you guys figure out why do you get diabetes? Anybody have diabetes? Or why do you get diabetes?
Second generation heredity. One thing, then in the family.
Is it type 2 or type 1? Yeah.
And I didn't have it when I exercised and worked out 2 hours, 3 hours a day. I didn't have it, and I ate whatever I wanted. And then I got old, and my mind says to go exercise. My body says, baby, don't do it.
Then the easiest thing is to not eat.
Pardon me?
The easiest thing is to cut down eating.
Oh,
No, let me finish. No, let me finish. You should change what you should eat. And nothing wrong what you did. Because you're right, when you were young, he didn't have diabetes because even though he ate what is called crap, calorie-rich and processed food, right?
I eat nuts and vegetables. I eat good, but I eat too much.
It doesn't matter. I'll tell you this. If you want to reverse your diabetes, just do this experiment, okay? Give up all the animal products. It's fat that causes diabetes, not sugar. Because fat gives 9 kilocalories. Your carbohydrates and proteins give 4 kilocalories. Diabetes is an insulin resistance problem. And insulin resistance comes when you have too much fat in your body. When you have too much fat in your body, your hormones go berserk. And they create inflammation and insulin resistance. Very simple. When you consume calories, your body has to use some, right? He was doing 2-3 hours, used it up. He was building muscle. Muscle takes more glucose. And he was always in a deficit, so he never had any problem. But once you eat the same way and you don't exercise, the body has to do something with that sugar, the glucose that is produced. It takes and converts it into fat and goes all over the body saying, where can I put this? Deposit, because it's not exercising. So it will deposit. It's like a warehouse. Your body is like a warehouse. Imagine you're putting and filling up the warehouse. There's so much space in a warehouse, right? And once that happens, it starts showing up here, here, and all the fat. Then what does insulin do when your sugar goes up? Insulin is released to decrease the sugar, and it never happens. Because the sugar, the ultimate goal is any excess calories, you got to change it to fat. Insulin cannot do that. Because the body, the warehouse is full, say, I don't want anything more. And the sugar is circulating in the blood and you get diabetes. And your insulin is not like your insulin is not there, it's there, but insulin can't do. So you create, it's a calorie excess problem. Cut down the calories. So what's the easiest way to cut down calories? Not this. Eat plants. You'll never go wrong with plants. A pound of lettuce is 60 calories. How many of you can sit and chew 1 pound of lettuce? Not asking you to stop eating. Eat. Just change what you eat. Because fat in the meats, animal products, all animal products have a lot of calories. Because there is fat within the muscle. The way you have fat in the muscle, animals have fat in the muscle. Sure, when you grill, you can see, even though you didn't put oil, you see oil dripping. Second, when you digest that, see that microbiome, I said alteration? There are 3 things that are produced when you eat meat. It's called activated glycated end product, AGE. Second is TMAO. 3 is heterocyclic amine. So your AGEs and heterocyclic amine cause cancer. And your TMAO takes the cholesterol and puts it in the blood vessel. Causes heart disease. And I don't have to prove to you, right? So many people around you, you have diabetes, you have blood pressure, you have heart disease, you have cancer. So, which I didn't know. And I used to do like anybody else. Yeah. Next. And here's your answer. So when you take more calories, the fat, the cholesterol all goes up, and you get resistance to insulin, and then your sugar goes up, and the pancreas can't can't manage all these things, and then you end up with diabetes. Because when you eat any food, it doesn't matter what you eat. It's converted to glucose for the cells, for the body to use. And if you don't use, somewhere the liver and everywhere, pancreas, they have to work together to handle the extra glucose that if you can, so you get diabetes. Type 2 is 100% reversible if you want to do it. Not me, you have to do it. I'll guide you to do it. That's my job. But you should have the will to do it. I'm not asking you to stop eating. So 3 things you should do to reverse type 2 diabetes. Stop all the animal products, stop oil, and eat plants and vegetables the way you want. I don't care how much. There's no limit. Yes, ma'am.
You replace the protein with.
That's good, because we're all taught meat is protein, which is a bunch of nonsense. A 3-ounce steak, 3 ounces of chicken, 3 ounces of salmon will give you about 25 grams of protein. Okay? A cup of black beans gives you 15 grams of protein. All the women in this room need about 46 grams of protein. All the men in this room need 56 grams of protein. So do the math. 4 cups of black beans will give me, as a man, and 3 cups will give you the protein you need. And black beans don't have cholesterol, don't have saturated fat, have 35% fiber. And I have a nice bowel movement. One of my patients took over from Dr. Nielsen. She was pastor's wife, and both of them said, yeah, you seem to be reasonable, let's try this. And 2 weeks later, she came back and she had tears. This is the first time in 70 years, as far as I remember, she was 32. I had a good bowel movement. She had tears was not because lack of fiber. We eat meat and we eat potatoes. That's it. I did that too. I'm no exception. Point I'm trying to make is,
The beans have complete protein.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, yes, there are so many. So, and I didn't create any of this knowledge. There is knowledge there which I didn't know. I'm just sharing it with you. And I have to, because I have an MD license, stop what's evidence, what is research based and all that. But the point is, I'm not selling you a product for weight loss and making money and walking away from you. Because weight loss, all diets don't work. Because they do work in the beginning, and then you go back to your old. So lifestyle is a way, becoming aware. So I am driving to Bowling Green, there's 25 here. Why did they put that sign? They're making me aware that this is a residential zone. There'll be people who drive, all of us drove more than 25 in the neighborhood. But we're careful. But if I drive 70, the odds are you're going to crash. The point is, I'm regulating myself with lifestyle. I'm becoming aware that what's good, what's bad. And that's what they teach. There are several diets. I don't believe in one. You just eat a lot of plants and vegetables, And I'll tell you how to do this very quickly if you guys want. Next. So the reason is, what you eat is how the body reacts. How many of you feel sleepy after eating? That's because how it's processed. A lot of us feel that sluggish after you eat, because it's the kind of food that you're putting in and how the bacteria is digesting it and what it releases and how you feel. So it's not whether you're obese or you're slim or anything, it's the gut microbiome. For example, Parkinson's. People think Parkinson's is a brain issue here. There's a thing called substantia nigra, the dopamine is, but 90% is produced in the gut. We just got a nice that pesticides cause Parkinson's. Environmental toxins cause Parkinson's, chemicals, fumes, a lot of things cause Parkinson's problem. Point is, we are taught a certain thing, and the medications I give, they work for a little while and they don't work. You continue to suffer, but you can prevent these things, provided you fix your gut. They are the second, there is a gut-brain axis, influence on weight gain, bowel movements, nutrient delivery, and microbial balance. And it influences the neurotransmitters, changes stress, mood, and behavior. So your gut is your second brain. And you got to and I can guarantee you when you eat this kind of food, you'll all feel, there's no doubt about that. But it's processed. Your insulin spike goes up and then you feel. So if there is one thing you guys want to do, just buy this, How Not to Diet, How Not to Die. These are good investments in your life. And then they have cookbooks too. And I don't have any stocks or any interest in these. These are really good books. And you can do anything. This is for you. Dean Ornish wrote this book. Diabetes. You can do it, you can undo the diabetes yourself. And the point is, you have apps. I mean, you guys are app savvy. You guys have smartphones. Why don't you download Daily Dozen? Yeah, write that down and down. It's a free app. There's tons of information there. And it's all research-based, Dr. Greger. So I like to share his story. He was in college and his grandmother was told that she's got a few months to live. Her heart is terrible. Heart was pumping about 20% or so. Let her go and die peacefully. So she saw, she was 61 then, and CBS 60. And Dr. Ornish was the speaker. He was doing a study in California, and she flew the next day to him. She enrolled in the study. He completely changed the diet, what she eats. In 2 weeks, from wheelchair, she started walking. And she lived to 91. And that's what Dr. Greger, when he wanted to do medical school, he went to top university, because that's where a lot of nutrition happens in our country. And then he did family medicine. And he said, I'm going to create evidence-based solutions for people. Yeah, it's all free information. You don't have to get anyone. It's all research-based, evidence-based. Okay. So those are two books if you read. So for young people who want to lose weight, How Not to Diet. There are 21 tweets, I call them. You do that, you'll invariably lose weight. You don't have to try it. Anybody can try that. How Not to Die is each condition he is given, like for COPD, for prostate cancer, for blood, heart problems. He'll give you what are the natural things that you can do. So going back to her, I'll say, can you stop eating processed food? Can you stop eating sugar, animal products, dairy, refined flour, gluten? These are all cause inflammation. And she may say, oh, I don't think I can give up meat, I can do it. We start a plan. Let's do that. Naturally, what she can do is I'll say, can you drink 4 to 5 cups of hibiscus tea? Yeah, they've compared captopril medication to this 4 to 5 cups of tea, and there's this thing up. Let's think her cholesterol is also high, which I'm assuming. No? Anybody have high cholesterol here? So instead of you say, when I take my pills, my muscles ache or whatever, then I'll say, can you do a portfolio diet? There is a diet that's 20 years ago, government funded studies. Nobody teaches us that portfolio diet. They just want to throw a pill. You eating one Brazil nut a week will lower your cholesterol by 22%. Raw Brazil. So now you understand that if ABLM has taught me all that. So in that app, you can go put in anything you want, like weight loss. You'll get tons of videos about weight loss. Some digestive issues, you'll get tons of videos. And they're all 4-5 minutes. Watch them, and you can get the information yourself. Next.
I have a question. Is the doctor pregnant?
Yes, yes. And if somebody wants to watch, Game Changers would be a great thing on next, or Folks Overnight. And then you'll understand why it's important that you change. And for me, what I like about lifestyle medicine is, I've been into meditation from a kid, 28 years I've been meditating. My spiritual guide said, change is the instrument for progress. So, and every day, the good Lord has given us an opportunity to change. God has given this life. There is no aging. Aging is a number. For example, yes, you are disabled because of your own doing. You can undo all these things, but do it slowly. He may run quickly, but still you can run too. You can reverse the age, you can influence the gene. Now they're all showing that. We had a Washington University professor present just by eating antioxidant diet, they call that. 1 cup of blueberries every day. 1 cup. You can do wonders. Pomegranate, 2 cups. Like I would say to her, eat pomegranates because they all have shown to reduce.
I have a question about eating. Most of us eat lunch downstairs. You ever eat lunch downstairs?
No, I don't even want to go there. Honestly, I know it all. I know how it works in the society. So
See, they don't, when they make their menu, they make it for a man. And they have to have so many carbs a day. Well, that's what.
that's all nonsense.
We
None
all,
of these dietitians,
well, they say that state mandated.
that, so you can get carbs from the good sources.
Right, but they don't do that. We hardly ever have a salad, like tossed salad. And every day we have 2 choices of meat with potatoes. Sometimes they have vegetables.
I'm not opening a can of worms here, but I'm here. Happy to talk.
Alone at home all day long. And so we want company when we eat. And so
100%. That's a beautiful thing. And you should raise this, and I'll be happy to talk to anybody. Because, I mean, I'm in a nursing home, in a dementia unit. I thought I'll be able to change there, but state comes in because weight loss is a problem in a nursing home. But here in a community, you should be able to do this.
Yeah, what goes along with what she's saying is that for this building, for the senior center to get funding through the state of Ohio and through the federal government, they require certain things to be served to people. If you want to get the funding so that they can offer meals at a very discounted price, these are the things they said it has to serve.
yeah.
X amount of protein, X amount of carbohydrates, there's, not enough salads and fruit frequently is canned fruit, so, but they're saying to meet certain requirements to get funding to purchase this food, these are the diets that they have to put together.
And blueberries are very expensive if you're gonna eat 2 cups a day.
Yeah.
You can get them frozen for less price.
They're still expensive.
Dude,
Too.
yeah, and I can send you how to eat within a budget. Lifestyle medicine has actually created menus, plant-based. People who have that myth, they have done research studies comparing your regular, yes. Can I compete with this? No, I can't. And that's how they mess up our health. The food industry is pretty strong, lobby, in our country, I don't even want to go there. It's a whole different topic, how lobbying happens, who gets discounts, which farmers, and that's all. Let's not even go there. I can't control what I can't control, but I can control what I can control. What I can control is, so we need to sit down with the people who are making this, give us more plants. I have no problem with canned stuff. If they're giving canned, wash them so that the preservatives are gone. The can is lined by BPA to preserve things. That's why process is a disaster. So the point is, which I didn't know, you get frozen stuff. There's always sale on frozen stuff. Get all of them and put in the freezer and cook from them. If you can, get canned. I don't care. Wash them off nicely before you cook them. And eat them. I don't have a problem with that. The problem is eating steak, eating meat. People think salmon is good. And then they think it's protein. No. I mean, once in a while it's fine. If you are having a grandson graduation and you show up there and that's the only thing you have, eat a small piece. But I'm going to load up on my plants and fruits and those are kind. I'm going to stay away from those things. So if you just look at any of these like forks over knives or game changers, they're free. You can see. Yeah. You guys. So I just made up my diet song, I wake up sad, by midday I'm mad, by evening I'm crap. So what sad is the standard American diet, which I'm always used to, because when I came to America, because I'm a foodie, I loved everywhere. I don't have to go this side, left side, right side, top, down, there's food. I woke up eating Panera, cream cheese bagel, or Tim Hortons, right? Whatever. And then by midday, because I'm running, mad, modern American diet, Arby's, Wendy's, anywhere, McDonald's, whatever comes, Subway, everything. And then I'm tired in the evening. Pick up calorie and processed food. So that's the story of my life. Not anymore. I changed. And I understand your problems, wherein this place is, but still there is a way that you can negotiate and come up with things. You all stop eating the meat. They can't throw away every day of your meat. They're not shoving it into your. You say, I want beef. Get the canned beef. That's okay. You wash them off. So there's other ways that you can silently change the system.
And, even if you decide, okay, I need to eat lunch here, this is where I get a meal, I meet with my friends, you can still change your breakfast and your dinner at home, right?
Exactly. That's my point. See, I'm not going to complain about what Bowling Green City is doing and all that. I can't control that. That's larger thing. What I can control is how I live in my own home. And ask the good Lord for the wisdom. The difference what I can control and I can't control. Yes, sir.
I can understand how this would pertain to somebody, that young lady, but I'm 82 years old, I don't want to live to be 100. And why should I do all this stuff?
Sure, no problem. If you want to live the way you want to live, perfectly fine. My goal is not to prolong people's lives to death. I don't control life and death. I figured that out very young. No, nobody controls that. Because you have to die the next minute, you're going to die.
Right.
It doesn't matter if I have 911 here, you have a doctor right in front of you, you're still going to die.
Why not
Same thing with
die
me.
happy, full, and drunk?
I'm not having a problem at all. Why did I change? Because I don't want death to be my fault. You understand?
You're 54 years old, I can understand all that, I really.
No, 72 also can change, because you're going to love, if you want to go and stay in that nursing home and you're disabled, terrible to live in a nursing home. I have lived in that place for 20 years since I've been in the US. Because I'm a medical director, I work there. I don't want anybody to be there, but we don't have a choice as a society. That's where everybody ends up. Unless you're rich and you can bring people home care. One way or the other. That's the reality. Or you're going to die in the house. point is, I want to live well. That's it. I'm not preventing that. I don't want death to be my fault, and I don't want disability to be, because I didn't know better. If I didn't know, what will you guys do? I'm telling you that you can reverse it. I'm not, because reversing doesn't mean that now you can go and exercise for 2 hours, even at this age.
Can't do that.
Slowly you can do. Your mind is the first thing. When you say you can, human beings have the guy who, I mean, again, I'm just taking the names. The guy who created Tesla wanted to suddenly say that I'm going to go to space and he read books. That guy didn't even have a clue. He's not even an engineer, for God's sake. And then he figured out and he sent the thing into the space. There's nothing human beings can do if they really put their head to it. It's the first blockage is I cannot do. When you say that, nothing works. Trust me. You don't have to go take a second step to prove that. The first is still gone. Yes, sir.
Okay, my husband loves Indian food. He always chooses chicken curry. And then the white nutrition. Sometimes we get one of the names. Question is, what would be the best choices at Indian restaurant?
There is what is called chole, C-H-O-L-E. They're lentils, chickpeas, you know. Chickpeas in gravy. Minus the chicken pieces, you can put them there. Then there is spinach. That's called saag, S-A-A-G. So there is lentil, dal, makhani, you know, yeah. Yeah, and then, so beans, yeah, rajma, we call that, there's tons, you know. And trust me, when I was at Harvard listening to all this, you know who came to my head first? My grandmother. She taught me all these things. And here I have to come to the other side of the world to learn all this at Harvard. My grandmother said, chew your food 20 times. So people don't understand your B12 absorption starts in the mouth. You eat fast, you become deficient. I used to eat fast. I can finish a Subway sandwich a foot long in just 30 seconds. And I used to eat. That's real fast, right? Yeah, I'm having this big Coke and then suck it up and then move on. And I used to do all these things. Sorry.
Are there unusual grains that we should be eating?
Yeah, there are some
And
people,
also tofu.
yeah. So people, that's a bad rap tofu got. They'll say you grow breasts because it's got soy and all that. That's a bunch of nonsense. You know, yes, soy has been genetically modified and there are some issues. When you get organic soy and then you eat the limit. See, how many of you think that you guys are superhuman? None of us are, right? It's just regular human beings. Right? We are part of nature. We are part of nature. So that when you eat nature, natural stuff, nothing happens. When you modify it, so corn. You eat corn, I don't care. Go have fun. But when you turn them to chips, that's where the problem comes. Because they have to use chemicals to create that. And the body doesn't understand any better. It will create inflammation. And that's where the problem comes. There are chemicals in it. And then now you wonder, why am I having fire inside? Why am I hurting every day morning? Why am I so tired? Because of what you eat, or you live your lifestyle. So I can't remove people's stress. Like she's young, she's got her own issue. She'll look at you guys and say, man, wish I had the money like them, you know. But then you come with your own problems. You have the money, you have problems, right? So that's why I love this song. I wake up sad and by midday I'm mad and by evening I'm crap. So if you take all these things out, this is what America eats. And I'm not saying to stop eating, eat like this, wherein half of your plate is plants and fruits. And if you don't have teeth, blend them. You get smoothie. So it's very simple. Grains, very good question. Whole grain, brown rice, quinoa are things that you can eat. And then
Others that we're not familiar with.
there are a lot of things, grains all over. We don't know, we don't use much here, but there are so much grain, especially in India, we have millets, which are low glycemic index. If he is a diabetic, he can eat millets. I'm not saying grains are bad. And then some people have gut problems when they eat grain. That's because of the lectins, when they eat beans also. But the way to do it is, you soak them overnight. Next day morning, you can take the skin off. If you're extremely sensitive. If you're not sensitive, then put it in a pot. My old grandmother cooking, and that's how we used to cook lentils. We didn't have pressure cookers then. We just cooked it on thing. And then all the lectins are gone. Then you take the water away, you wash them, and then you cook them. 98% of lectins are gone. And there's only a few people who get that, regular people don't. And if you, and then nuts, 8 to 10 nuts, 8 to 10 walnuts. Your walnut, 8 to 10, will reduce your cholesterol. So the point is, they help your brain. Next, please. So this is how, the only thing that plant-based diet you should supplement is B12. And I actually, when I started doing geriatrics, I figured out a lot of the problems. I started doing vitamin D and B12 on everybody. So I used to be the medical director for Lutheran Village at Wolf School. So that's where we used to teach, And one of the trainees said, why are you doing B12 and thyroid and vitamin D on everybody? They're not deficient, they're eating meat. Sure, let's try that. Let's make the research project. So our university does the lab there. Just took a phone call to get 200 people's names and their lab. I asked them to analyze it. 98% had B12 or vitamin D deficiency. Now, how we sit inside the house, you don't get vitamin D. B12 is the meats that they're supposed to have B12 is a bunch of crap. But the meats are terrible. I don't know, that's another topic, So that's otherwise. How many of you? Is it okay for you to tell your weight or somebody? Do you care to talk it?
214.
214. Do you know how much water you should drink per day to function well?
Probably 10 ounce glasses.
Man, you're smart.
I do all this stuff, and it doesn't do any good.
Right? Come and see me, I'll help you. Right? You listen to me.
I'm 82 years old, I wanna go 3 more years, and I'm gonna live.
And that's exactly what your goal is. That will be my goal too.
I'll make.
So 210 pounds, right? 110 ounces. Your weight times 2 is the number of ounces of water you should drink. And we don't. And do you guys know that whether you like it or not? Right.
They give me a diuretic and tell me to drink 18 ounce glass of water a day. You know where I spend a lot of my time? 30 hours.
I know. So, but then I would say, drink it in the morning. All your stuff. And you take your diuretic in the morning. And then by midday, 2 o'clock, you're done. Or you can split your diuretic. And they've done research on that. You take it in the morning and split the dose, other dose at noon. Then your risk of getting up in the night decreases. So the point is, whether you like it or not, when you're 65, your total body water drops and total body fat increases. So you have more visceral fat. And that's why older people are more risk for problems.
On dairy, where is milk, yogurt and cheese?
Yeah. I know dairy is the second most common allergen in the United States. How many animals drink other people's milk?
Yeah.
We have 2 kinds of milk, A1, A2. A1 was genetically modified A2 to demand. It's an industry. Meat is full of, dairy is full of saturated fat. So I don't drink dairy. I don't do cheese. No, I do almond yogurt, I do soy yogurt, and answering back, soy if you eat like edamame, fine. So plant-based milk, such almond milk, you don't even have to pay. You can do it yourself. Sorry. Yeah, lot of people are lactose intolerant. Yeah, And people have lot, they drink, and then you think you're not digesting. I can go on for, there was a kid who came with recurrent ear infections. I'll show you what to do. I'll simplify this for you. The 6 things that you should really avoid. And then he's gone. They didn't even show up. I lost a patient. And they stopped coming because he's better. But I don't care. I'm happy because so when I called, she said, thank you so much. She called the mother. Thank you. But I didn't do anything. I didn't give a favor. I just said, this is what you need to do. That's how powerful this is. You can reverse your memory problems too by doing this, the 6 pillars of lifestyle. And I didn't do it. You guys want to write this and look it up. US finger study or pointer study. So, finger, FINGER, Google it, or pointer study. POINTER. So you remember I told you the Finland people presented in 2,800 people, they changed lifestyle swiftly and everybody, all these 2,800 followers. They presented that as the Alzheimer's Association. I'm on the local board in Mommy, Alzheimer's Association. They took us there. And the Alzheimer's Association of US joined with them and they're now doing this worldwide study. So there's no new drug for 20 years in our country. We spend a lot of money on drugs to create because there's money. Nobody wants to spend on this because they can't patent it. When you don't patent anything, there's no money there. So
I noticed you very carefully avoided chocolate.
I don't do that. To be very honest with you.
Is it, I keep hearing it's good for you.
Yeah.
Dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate, not the whole strip. You eat a piece, that's fine, 80% and above. So see, if you look at how the messaging the food industry does is, they do a little study and they message that to make it sound good for people. Acai berries are good, these berries are good, this is great, chocolate is great, You can't do that for food. Food is whole food. Eat whole food, plant-based. I don't know. What's wrong in some, I make soup. I learned how to cook from YMCA after I learned about things in Harvard, and now I cook my own stuff. I make my own salad. And I buy food from a local farmer. You guys know what is CSA? Community Supported Agriculture? Yeah, I'm supporting a Tiffin farmer. I feel so proud that, and these are people trying to produce things with no pesticides. Pesticides cause Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, cause gut problems.
Go back to the chocolate. I heard there's heavy metal in dark chocolate.
You bet. There are a lot of things in a lot of stuff. So that's why I avoid processed food because nobody tells me the truth. The truth is my whole health, my whole life. I just want it to be right. I'm not saying by doing this I'll be 100% right, but at least I know that I'll be mostly right. So this process, the government gives a lot of stuff that they can label and a lot of it is not labeled. How did I know this? There's a guy called Mike Poland. You can pull up if you're there. He was a PhD, got sick. He taught us there. And he had connections to get good help. And nobody could help him. He learned somewhere like me talking, and he tried it on himself. And then he changed everything and he started writing books. He taught us how corrupted our food industry is. Terrible. So we create specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, time-sensitive. Everybody is different. Everybody's body. He says, I only want to live till 85 and I'm done. So we make those goals, how to get him to 85. Somebody says, I want to kind of dance with my grandson's or granddaughter's wedding or whatever. So you make those and then you make it action-oriented. And so the prescription I give is change from sugar-laden desserts. Sugar here. Oh, that's at least some better. There's fruit here. So 5 days a week, 1 serving a day, dessert, the fruit, the cookie. And then every day consume veggies, 2 servings during meals, vegetables. Normally, we should supposed to eat 7 to 10 servings, of fruits and vegetables. And next, please. But we give prescriptions like this for exercise, frequency 5 days a week, moderate target heart rate, time 30 minutes, brisk walking. So he may say, I used to do 2 hours. Now he said, I can't do that 2 hours. That ain't happening. So for him, I'll say, can you sit and bike? He says, I love watching TV. Yeah, get a bike in front of your TV. I'm just giving an example. Do whatever. Everybody is different. You may enjoy just going into the park, but I'll tell you, if anything, we are blessed with a park every 5-6 miles. Please go to the park and walk. In UK, if I as a family doctor write that this person needs nature's walk because they have anxiety, depression, they actually let her go from work. And the government will pay for the time. They're fine. Because your risk for depression and anxiety drops by 30%. How powerful it is. Just walking in the park, doing nothing. So if you're walking in a neighborhood, go walk in a park. So the point I'm trying to make is we do in lifestyle medicine, I give prescription, but not a pill, because I don't believe a pill for every ill. Next. So we give ideas, taking the stairs, parking in a space far from store, bicycling to work, walk during lunch break. So you have to walk after every meal, 30 minutes, and your sugar will change.
I can't even walk, I can't walk.
What can you do?
This is my 5th stroke. I can't walk.
Can you do water aerobics?
I'm in therapy, they haven't sent me there yet.
Yeah, so you can do water stuff because you have buoyancy and it's easy on you in the pool. So walking your dog, you raking the leaves, vacuum. So we give ideas how people can do that. And we motivate people, what are the motivators? I said, it takes time. What are the obstacles? What are the strategies? What are the strengths? Next. So then we give sleep prescription. How do you time? Everybody has to sleep at 10 o'clock. 10 to 2 is when detoxification happens. That's one good thing as a culture we do. We eat before 7, we sleep by 9 or 10. That's a good thing, Next. We kind of talk about night. We give that prescription, frequency, intensity, time, and type. We give prescriptions to patients. Next. I'm going over my time. Sorry.
No, you're okay.
Sleep. So sleep also we give sleep. And we ask, assess, advise, assist, arrange, and we keep repeating that. For any change, people are in pre-contemplation, contemplation, and preparation. In those stages, we do what is called motivational interviewing. And in the action, maintenance, and termination, if this gentleman says, I have a stroke, then we find out what's the cause, assess him, and see if he has any underlying, because after stroke or heart attack, you're more at risk for heart depression, and then rule out all those things, and then we motivate, and we do cognitive behavioral therapy and try to change, because it's the brain that kind of is the roadblock for everything. And even for addiction, we do things. Yeah. So recommendation for living wisely, adopting an attitude of gratitude towards life rather than seeking revenge for injuries or slights, acting towards others from altruistic rather than self-centered, retaining a capacity for wonder and delight in the genuinely good and beautiful things in life. And I always wonder, imagine this whole being standing here. It was one little cell that divided, formed the organ, and the beauty of creation. And how grateful we should be and thankful for the life. Rather than talking about the negative stuff, think about the blessings you have. And I'm not teaching anything. You already know all this stuff, right? So the point is, how do you practice it and bring it? So every day morning when you wake up, I say, good Lord, thank you for waking me up. There is a million people who die every day on this earth. I'm glad I woke up. Next thing is, I'm able to walk. There's a lot of people who can't get up from the bed and walk by themselves. And then my balls are working. Thank you. toxins, you eliminate the toxins. So these are all your blessings. Blessings doesn't mean that you have a bunch of money in the bank and we are all worried about the 401k going down and how the economy is collapsing and people start fighting and they become very, what's the point? You don't have control over that. What you can control is trying to control your own life. And then keep a sense of modesty, one's purpose. Find a purpose. Serve, when you have service automatically, how many people remember the richest man when Jesus lived? Or the king when Jesus, nobody remembers that. But Jesus is known everywhere in the world, right? He was not rich. He was not a powerful guy on the earth. All he had was love. That's it. I mean, I'm just taking this example because a lot of people talk about the good Lord, right? But anything, it can be anything. But nature. What you come with nothing, you die with nothing. So the nature continues to exist. Yeah. So stay flexible. How do you overcome resistance? Learn lessons, take action, stay connected, release tension. Have a sense of purpose, learn healthy habits, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Keep laughing. Keep laughing. And be optimistic. Yeah. So next, please. And find a purpose. Once in a week, spend focus contemplating 1 hour, strengths, gifts, talents, personal vision. 5 nights in a week, focus on the things you feel. Spend 5 to 10 minutes, 2 to things. And then, enjoy the flowers, birds, trees that you have around. And all these things are very, very critical for your health. People want a pill, doesn't work that way. So, and we need to have strong social connections, and it's good, at least you guys can come to a center, talk to each other. At least, I know there are always issues around things, but look at the positive of you have a nice building. I've gone to area of buildings that look like trash. So you guys have a brand new building and it's great, So people are thinking like Daniel, aging abound and asking somebody like me to come and speak, and you guys should be grateful for what you have, bring the connections together. Next, please. I'll share this PowerPoint with you guys, and conveying the presence, being genuine, communication, listening, supportive communication, and we give prescriptions for social. 1 day per week, deep conversation with a friend, 30 minutes, family dinner, or 3 days per week, try to get a new connection, less than 5 minutes, strike up a friendly conversation. And when your social relationship doesn't mean that I go to church and all believe in me, or I go to a political party and then that's not social connection. Social connection is, I don't know, but I just strike up a conversation and say, and I don't know you, I know you. All I do is give love. And that's it. And move on. Doesn't have to be. And then suddenly you drop something, I pick up and give it to you because all these good things. Next. So I have to keep it simple. Avoid all the processed food. What's processed food? Any food that's made in an industrial plant is processed. Doesn't matter what the label says. Even this is processed. As far as I'm concerned. Maybe fruit, but it's a lesser evil. So sugar. Sugar is the most inflammatory thing. Animal products and eggs. Eggs also cause a lot of issues. Refined flour, gluten, soy, corn, anti-inflammatory diet. Eat for only 8 hours and fast the rest of the 16 hours. Yeah. The reason I put corn, soy is because they're genetically modified. Anything is genetically modified, but now give praise to all these farmers who are going against this. They're creating their own co-ops. They're trying to raise everything nicely. See, I'm not against meat. No, don't get me wrong. I'm just teaching you what meat can do wrong. If there is nice grass-fed everything and you want to eat once in a month, once in a while, that's fine. But we don't do that. We eat 3 times a day. And that's all processed. That's where the problem comes.
I'm surprised at eggs.
So eggs have what is called phosphatidylcholine, and eggs have 300 milligrams of cholesterol in that yolk. But when you eat, it creates what's called TMAO. And TMAO, all it does is take cholesterol. See, when I say avoid, let's do an 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, avoid them. Occasionally, you eat them. See, but these are the things that cause inflammation. Next. So these are some of the sites that you can do. Watch Game Changers, Folks Over Nice, read How Not to Diet, How Not to Die. Get those. These are all free. Next, please. And I hope you can, anti-aging is again to prevent and treat age-related disease and to extend quality of life and function. The personalized approach. We do hormone replacement, herbal medications, gut health. We do genomic testing and all those and create what's important for you. Bottom line is, if you fix your hormones, inflammation, and insulin resistance, you can restore health and save a way to wellness and focus on healthcare and not sick care. And now you guys all can make, with this information, your health as your new wealth. Thank you for your time.